Good morning. Hi, I'm Stampin' Dee Dee. I'm Deanna Blackman. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am so happy to be here with you this morning. It is mystery. I'm moving my light over that didn't work. That didn't work. All right. I have a light issue here. And, okay, maybe that'll work. I am excited to be here with you. This is Mystery Make It Together. And we are going to put a card together step by step. And I hope you've gathered your supplies. And if you're here with me, I'd love it if you'd let me know that you are watching and making this card with me. So just in the comments, just say hi and tell me where you're from if you're watching it with me. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for doing that. And I hope you'll comment too and let me know where you're from. So, you know, I asked on the last video if you liked fun fold cards. And this is a fun fold card, but it's an easy fun fold card once you see it done. And that's why I decided to do it this way today, so that you can see it done and know how to do it. So thank you again for being here. If you're watching this on YouTube, I appreciate you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and the bell, hit the bell, and it'll let you know every time I post a video to YouTube. And I post all of my videos to YouTube. So be sure and do that. Again, thank you for watching. Let me know if you're here, if you're making the card with me. I hope you've gathered your supplies because I think you'll be glad that you've done this one. So here's what you need. Let me put the camera down just a little bit. So you can see. All right, so you're going to need a piece of colored cardstock that is 8.5 by 10 7/8. So that's this. I've got mine. And you're going to need a piece of very vanilla or basic white that is 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. So I've got mine ready to go. Then you need to pick a designer series paper, which I did. I picked from the flowering zinnias. I tend to default to that paper because I love it. I love it. I love the colors. I love it. So you need a piece of designer series paper that is 3 1/2 by 5. Another piece of designer series paper, a coordinating piece that is 8 1/4 by 3 1/2. And then twine or ribbon, and I chose the ribbon to go with the green. And any scraps that you might need for embellishments. So we're going to get started with this now. So I hope you've gathered these supplies and that you'll be doing this card with me. So let me look and see. All right, be sure and post if you're watching and making the card. All right, here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is get out our trimmer, and we're going to do some scoring. So we're going to take our 8.5 by 10 7/8, and along this long edge here, we're going to score. We're going to score it at 3 5/8. So here's 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8, just past the 1/2. Make sure you've got your scoring blade. And we're going to give that a score. And then we're going to score it at 7 1/4. So I'll pull out my arm, go to 7 1/4. 7 1/4. Let me get my paper straight here. All right. So we're going to score that. So at 3 5/8 and at 7 1/4. So we're going to keep this out for just a minute. So you want to fold it in and then fold it back. So that's your fun fold. Fold it in and fold it back. All right. Now, the other really awesome thing about this card is it is a slimline card. All right, let me grab my bone folder, and I'm going to give this a score and give this one a score. You always want to burnish your score lines. You don't give it a score, you give it a burnish. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is take a ruler and a pencil, and we're going to measure 2 inches up from the bottom left edge. So it's this edge right here, the bottom left edge. We're going to measure 2 inches up. And we're going to make a mark 2 inches up and make a mark. All right, if you're doing this with me, I hope you've gone 2 inches up. And then we're going to put this on the trimmer, and we're going to go from that mark, the 2-inch mark, move it over here a little bit, up to the score line. So from the 2-inch mark up to the score line. So let me even that up, get my score line, get my 2-inch mark along the track, and there we go. All right, we've made our first cut, and we're going to keep this piece because it's going to be a template. Now we're going to take this, and we're going to cut the longer section down. Let's see, on this one, we're going to cut the longer section down to 3 3/8. So let me mark 3 3/8. You take your template and go down to 3 1 2 3/8 and make a mark. And then 1 3/4 on the shorter side. So 1 3/4 on the shorter side. And make a mark. So 3 3/8, go down 3 3/8 on the long side, and 1 and go down, or you know what? I need to go down to 3 3/8 and down, down to 1 3/4. Down to 1 3/4, right there. Okay. Let me make sure I did this right. The longer section down, you know what? Down to 3 3/8. And 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. 1 3/ I'm not sure I did that right. All right, it needs to be, I'm sorry, it needs to be 3 3/8 on this longer section. I didn't think that looked right. 3 3/8, 1 2 3/8, 3 3/8 on the longer section, and 1 3/4, 1 3/4 right here. So I'm going to erase that. There we go. Because we're turning this into a template. And we're going to cut it. I still don't think I got it right. I don't think I got it right. Why didn't I get it right? My goodness, I hope I haven't messed this up. I think I did. Hold on. I did. You know what I did? What did I say? I said the second score line, didn't I? And I just totally did it wrong. So let's go to the second score line. Now, we are just going to, because see, now I did this. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do my template. So we are just going to cut. This is how it's supposed to be. And we're just going to do our, now we're going to do this. And we're just going to mark it. There's always a way to fix it. We're just going to mark it. We're going to go from that corner down to, we're going to mark it a little bit below, right there. And we're going to cut it. Yeah. Now we've got our piece that goes right here. And it's going to fit right in there perfectly. I'm so sorry. I messed that up royally. All right. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this. And I'm going to put my adhesive on it. My adhesive is sounding funny. Okay. And we're going to adhere that. We still need this to the front, right here. I didn't get it quite as even as I wanted to. Okay, there we go. There's our front. So now we're going to take this piece of DSP and we're going to mark 3 3/8 from the top right, 3 3/8. 3 1 2 3/8, 1, 2, 3. 3 3/8 from the top right and 1/4 inch from the top left. Right there. And then we're going to cut that. We're going to cut from mark to mark. Okay. And this is our second piece. So we're going to adhere this right here. Right there. So I'm going to get that. And I wonder why that's, I don't know. It's making that, you hear that popping sound? I don't know. I'll have to check it later. All right, this is going to go right here. And then we're left with our white. But before we put it in, we want to do some stamping on it. So anything, and actually I'm not going to stamp. I've got some embellishments that I'm going to use instead. And what I did was I cut this from my Designer Series paper. And I'm going to put one right up here at the top. Let me see how that fits. Or maybe I want to put this one up here at the top. I do. Because I want it to show. I want the whole thing to show. Now you can stamp or you can add embellishments of some kind. So I'm going to just put a little liquid glue on that and put it right there at the top. And then I am going to put this one right here at the bottom, leaving plenty of room for a sentiment. Put this one right here. And I could even, I'm going to put happy birthday on the front. I could even stamp right in here, enjoy today. I think I'll do that. And I'm going to use Mossy Meadow ink. So I'm going to put it, whoops, let me make sure. I could go ahead and adhere it down, couldn't I? Put it right in here. Enjoy today. There we go. And let's go ahead and put that down. So I'm using my adhesive that's making a funny noise for some reason. And I'm going to go back after we put this one together, grab another piece of cardstock and make sure that you're clear on what to do, because I messed up. All right, there's that. And now we're ready to do the front of our card. So what I did is I did a video on Unbounded Love, the dies for my Dying to Know Tuesday night. And I just grabbed one of the sentiment things, but I see the holes were not all punched out. Okay. So I'm going to adhere this to this sentiment piece. And if you want to know about the Unbounded Love dies, how to create these sentiment pieces, go back and watch that video. It was from Tuesday night. Okay, I'll move that one that way just a little bit. And there's my sentiment piece. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it and bring in a foam. And my sentiment is happy birthday. I hope this Mossy Meadow will be dark enough. Looks like I might need to re-ink my I need to re-ink my Mossy Meadow. Definitely. Alright, let me get this straight. Put my happy birthday here. And hope it's dark enough. Yeah, that's dark enough. That'll work. That will work. So I've got my sentiment. I've got a couple of the flowers that I cut out from my designer series paper. I've got a couple of leaves that I could add to this. Have another flower that I could add right there. And maybe move this one down a little bit. Maybe move my leaf over. I don't want it hanging out the edge of the card, but it can overlap that. I like that. All right, I'm going to get busy and put these down. And I'm going to kind of hold what I've got while I put them down. Because this goes underneath. And overlapping that designer series paper. Yeah. And then I'm going to put this leaf down next. And I think I'll pop my sentiment up. So I'm going to put this leaf down under this. Right there. And get this flower down, and then I'll pop my sentiment up. Let's see. I don't want to get any glue on the leaves because they're going to be up here. There. And now I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. Okay. Pop this up right here. And there we have it. There is our slimline fun fold card. And you see, what I did the first time was I cut to the first score line. And that was my mistake. You need to cut to the second score line. And that gives you this whole thing then that you can turn into a template for this, but it's just as easy to put the paper on here and mark where you need to cut it and do that. All right, let me grab another piece of paper. real quickly. And I will be putting this, oh, I forgot my ribbon. I want to put a bow on here somewhere. So let me get this tied. And the reason I put on the instructions twice as much twine is I like to do a double bow with my twine so that it really shows up. So that's why I put. And I think I'm going to put this right up here. Put it right there. And grab my glue dots. Get a glue dot on it. Where was it going to go? Right up here. Right there. And then I'm going to have to trim these down quite a bit. There we go. There. Got my bow. All right. Love it. I love it. All right, let me get my trimmer back up here. And the dimensions for your cardstock is 8.5 by 10 7/8, and that's almost the 11-inch. Almost. So 10 7/8 by your 8.5, which is the width of your cardstock. And we're going to score it at 3 5/8 along the long edge. We're going to score it at 3 4/8, 5/8. Score it at 3 5/8 and 7 1/4. Now we're going to measure 2 inches up from the bottom left edge. So we're going to measure 2 inches from the bottom left edge. This is where, but it wasn't an irreparable mistake, thank goodness. And then you're going to cut from that 2-inch mark to the second score line. And that's where I messed up. I cut to the first score line. But you're going to cut to the second score line, leaving this, fold, fold. There's your card base. And then you can either take your designer series paper and just mark it a little down and cut up to the right edge, or you can use this and cut the longer section down to 3 3/8. Let's see. 3 3/8. I might not should even try this. 3 3/8. Okay, cut down to 3 3/8 and 1 3/4 on the shorter side. I'm going to see if I can make this work. 3 3/8 and 1 3/4. And that gives us the template that you can then use for your designer series paper. All right. So I apologize, but I hope that clears it up. And I want to show you one more that I did. So this is another one I did. I used the Tartan Designer Series paper, and I used the Perennial Lavender and just some sprigs. You're in my thoughts today, and this is where I used the double twine, made a double bow, and then inside, ready for your sentiment, ready for whatever you want to put. So, 2 of the fun folds, slimline fun folds. Now, you can either, from the video, the envelope video that I did, you can either make your own envelope, which is what I did for this one, or you can use the business envelope. And the slimline card will fit in a business envelope. So whichever way you want to do it. And you can decorate that business envelope with whatever Designer Series paper you used. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope I didn't confuse you. I'm going to put all of this on my blog so you will have clear directions on what to do. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you'll make one of these fun fold cards. Let me get this one back out of the envelope. I hope you'll make one because they're really unique. And who wouldn't love to get that? All right. God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.